Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. There seems to be this common misconception that Kevin Porter Jr. just straight up had a bad season. If anything, he had a very fine, very solid, very promising season, but I don't think a lot of people really realize the way he ended his season was very similarly to Jalen Green. We're going to start it off with his statistics before the incident because around January, early January, KPJ, left the arena evidently. That was a really confusing time. I mean, Christian Wood then evidently sat out on purpose or refused to check into the game in the second half, and they were only down 20 points. So the whole situation was super weird. There was not any info really. Apparently, Kevin Porter Jr. felt really bad about the situation. He called all of his teammates and apologized, said it would never happen again. The way I viewed that situation was, I don't know enough. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know enough about that situation to really diss any of those two players because we don't know the true and full story. But leading up to that, KP was having a pretty off season. He was averaging about 12.5 points per game. He was getting his rebounds. He was getting his assists. However, his turnover total in the first month of the season, 5.3. Second month, 3.7. And then December, 3. So the incident happens early January. He's averaging like 12.5 points, about 4.5 rebounds, about 6 assists, and like 3.5 plus turnovers. So it was not really going his way whatsoever. Well, January comes around, he starts to pick it up. He gets his field goal percentage from like 38.5 to 42.5 for that month, averages 14 points per game, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. So he starts shooting better, starts becoming more efficient. The turnovers are still at that 3-point, but he's scoring a little bit efficient. He's passing the ball still. He's still doing solid. He's on the incline. So then what happens next month, February, just gets a lot more efficient, drops that turnover total to 2.3, starts averaging about 14.3, gets his field goal percentage up to 46, gets his 3-point percentage up to 48. So efficiency-wise, he had an unbelievable February. So we get into AllStar Break, and just to kind of make this a little bit more easier and a little bit less confusing, here are his pre-AllStar Break statistics, which if it went on for the entire season, I would understand why KPJ has a lot of, I don't want to use the word haters, but why a lot of people were hard on him. If he stuck with his pre-AllStar breaks, I can understand why, because it was bad. 13.7 points per game. It's not the worst, but it definitely isn't the best. We're looking at 3.9 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 3.5 turnovers. So like I said, the man is super sloppy with the basketball. He's not really doing anything all that efficiently. He shot 40% from the field, which just is not ideal. It's not going to get the job done. The bright spot, did shoot 38% from downtown, but you look at his free throw percentage, it's 60%. So clearly something was happening with Kevin. He's clearly going through a huge slump in the first half of the season. Well, what happened post All-Star break? The kid cooked. The kid literally cooked, along with Jalen Green. And I don't know where it got lost, but you know how everyone was hyped about, Jalen Green? Like, so many Rocket fans started watching the Rocket games towards the last couple of months of the season, the last 20 games or so, because Jalen Green was dropping 20 bombs like it was absolutely nothing. Well, KPJ was doing the same exact thing. He was literally doing the same exact thing, and he was getting a lot of love for it. There was a lot of love for KPJ and Jalen Green in the last couple of weeks of the season. But for some reason, since basketball hasn't been played in, a month or whatever, KP is just getting severely disrespected. So here are his post-All-Star break stats, which to me is just giving me a taste of what KPJ is not only capable of, but can already do. He already possesses the ability to do this. So you got to give Kevin some time, man. It fires me up. It fires me up. I'm seeing all this BS trade rumors, all this cut him, eat the salary, cut KPJ, we need the young guns to get more minutes. Shut up, dude. 19 points per game, all right, so money. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.5 turnovers, perfect. 44% from the field, 37% from downtown, 71% from the free throw line. Give me one thing about those statistics in the final 22 games of the season to complain about. Maybe the free throw percentage being 70%, but if you compare it to the first half of the season, massive improvement. 10% improvement, actually. So I'm watching, like, I just genuinely don't get how people are not, like, open to the idea of giving Kevin Porter Jr. another year. Some people want like Jaden Ivey to get drafted and Jalen and Jaden to handle the backcourt. I'm all for KPJ. I'm like keeping an open mind with it. I understand why some people want him at the 3. I understand why some people want him as a 6-man. I understand why some people want him coming off of the bench as the 6-man, as a shooting guard. I can understand your reasoning, but I think you should be patient. When you look at the second half statistics, there actually isn't much of a reason for that. Like, there isn't really much of an argument to say, like, why do we have Kevin Porter Jr.? It's like, why do we have the guy who's averaging 19, 5, and 6, who can shoot threes, not turn the ball over too much? Like, So, I know this isn't, everybody. Obviously, like, KPJ is still one of the most loved guys on the Houston Rockets, but I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's just because there isn't much content, not too many news going on. I'm seeing way too much KPJ slander saying, I'm not sold on him, I'm not sold on him. Bottom line, doesn't matter if you're not sold on him. It literally does not matter. So 1 month ago, he turned 22. He's entering the final year of his rookie contract, and this is going to be a make or break, prove it-esque year because he's had solid seasons. He comes out into Houston, plays 20 games for us when he gets traded here after hooping and balling his ass off in the G League. Probably never should have been in the G League, but he's balling out in the G League. Comes to Houston, starts averaging some solid stats, has a really tough start to the season for like 2.5 months, and then just kind of lights it up. And last season, here are his stats: 15.6 per game, 4.4 rebounds, 6.2 assists. So, personally, actually, you know what? Let's just get into his. Let's get into his other stats too. 3.1 turnovers? Yeah, 3.1 turnovers. And where's the shooting? Because it's good. 38% from downtown. So yeah, is everything perfect? No. But he was 21 years old. Now he's 22 years old, entering his 4th year in the NBA. But I'm still very hopeful for him, and I'm still very optimistic. And I like the position that it keeps the Rockets in, where it's like, if he does do good, extend him, and, perfect. And if he doesn't do well, he doesn't exceed expectations, and say he just, it's looking like it's not working out, it's not going to work out, well, you have a couple of options. You can, have him be the 3 guy and try and figure something out. Maybe you get like a big-ass dude like, like imagine you have like Dyson Daniels running your point guard. There isn't too much of an issue having KPJ at the 3. As opposed to if you were to trade for, pick number 4 with Christian Wood, and you take Jaden Ivey with number 4, and then you have like 3 kind of young, small, super athletic, but they're, on the smaller end of the height scale and weight scale. So we'll see what happens. That's kind of just the point. Like, if he doesn't do well, you can either figure out, all right, do we move his position? Do we trade him? Do we put him on the bench? Like, what do we do from here? I think it's perfect. So that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. It's greatly appreciated. Go ahead, drop a comment down below. I think I had something in my nose that whole video. But go ahead, drop a comment down below on KPJ, and I will see you guys later. We started this daily live NBA show. We're going to have some sweet people on it. It's live every morning on YouTube at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be on streaming platforms afterwards. Great things coming. The link's going to be in the bio. It's going to be in the comment section of all of my videos. So I hope to see you guys there.